Every year, thousands of UFO sightings are reported, and experiencers are often left wondering what they actually saw. But some incidents are so intense and so terrifying that the witnesses are certain that what they encountered is not of this world. On this countdown, we're featuring some of the most frightening contact events we've ever examined on Ancient Aliens. Number 3 on our countdown, the Rendlesham Forest incident.
In Suffolk County, England, there is a remote forest in the village of Rendlesham that has become famous for being the site of one of the most extraordinary and frightening UFO encounters ever reported. The event occurred on December 26, 1980. Airman John Burroughs was performing a routine security check at a U.S. Air Force base when he received orders to investigate a possible downed aircraft.
My supervisor called me on the radio and asked me to meet up with him so we could check the east gate. We're driving down the road leading to the east gate to check on it when all of a sudden he saw some strange lights in the forest. So I decided to call it in and let him know something strange was going on. They decided to send one of the security units down, which was Sergeant Peniston. He got down there and he saw the same strange lights that we were seeing.
I could see all these multiple color lights and things like that. And the air felt different. I don't know how to really explain that, but it did feel like there was electricity on our skin and hair and stuff. But that progressively got worse the closer we got to the tree line, and it got more intense.
As the servicemen approached the strange lights, Sergeant Peniston reportedly saw a large craft just beyond the tree line.
The craft was triangular in shape, measuring about 6 to 7 feet high, black in color. I had come around to the far side of the craft, and that's when I noticed that there was, inscription on the side. It is about 3 feet long, maybe 6 inches high. Instead of something familiar, I see these pictorial-type glyphs, and got running my hand over the side of the craft. I don't know how to explain this. It's like someone was holding a picture up, okay? There was this feeling of being drawn into it or being pulled into it, like someone was holding a picture up of zeros and ones in my mind's eye.
The strange visions Sergeant Peniston had upon touching the craft has made this one of Britain's most famous UFO encounters. But ancient astronaut theorists suggest that even more compelling is what happened after. Over the following 2 evenings, U.S. Air Force Colonel Charles Halt reported further strange sightings. He led his own search party to put an end to the confusion. But instead of finding a logical explanation, they discovered high levels of radioactivity where Burroughs and Peniston had previously seen the strange craft. They then spotted a light in a nearby field that suddenly came towards them through the trees at high speed.
While we're walking around, we also noticed 4 or 5 objects in the sky. Then one came at high speed, stopped directly overhead, 3, 4, maybe 5,000 feet, and sent down a concentrated beam about 8 or 10 feet from us. I was really concerned then. At that point, I was thinking, why did I ever get involved in this? How will I ever explain this?
Now, I did a cold case review for the Ministry of Defense.
I am still subject to the Official Secrets Act. But I can tell you, chances are, these craft were real. And if they're real, they might actually be extraterrestrial.
Today, the frightening encounter in Rendlesham Forest is known in the UFO community as Britain's Roswell. For Airman Burroughs and Sergeant Peniston, the event wasn't easy to leave behind. Both men had lasting physical and psychological effects from the encounter.
After the incident, I started having throat and eye problems. At one point, my gums turned white. I also had vision problems, and when I went and saw the doctor, one of his first questions was, had I been ever exposed to radiation? I've definitely had dreams about it, and I still have feelings about what happened.
Prior to the incident, my views on any kind of phenomena like UFOs, things like that, they didn't exist. I never believed that kind of stuff. But after the life-changing event of December 1980, my views were different. It opened up the possibility that we're not alone.
Number 2 on our countdown, the Travis Walton abduction.
The Apache Sitgreaves National Forest, Arizona. November 5th, 1975. 22-year-old forestry worker Travis Walton and a group of coworkers are driving home after sundown when suddenly a strange light appears in the sky.
I noticed some little glimmers of light coming through the trees, and the light seemed to be coming from higher than where ground level would be. It was only when we got to where this light was crossing the road that we had an unobstructed view of the craft. It was a clearly visible, clearly defined metallic object, a disc hovering there, outlined against the sky. I threw open the door, thinking I'd get a closer look before it took off. That's when this energy hit me. I felt like a physical blow, but with a sort of a tingling, sort of an electric shock sort of feeling at the same time.
Walton basically got zapped by this blinding light. The crew just hot-footed out the area quickly, then thought, well, we've got to go back, we've got to get Travis. Went back, whatever this object was gone, and he was gone as well.
According to Travis Walton, the mysterious beam of light rendered him unconscious. And when he awoke, he found himself in a room surrounded by strange beings.
I was looking straight into the face of this creature. These small beings were humanoid, but so unhuman, it's just terrifying. And I just flipped out. It was just horrible. It was like they were looking right into me.
He saw these hideous entities that scared him. Maybe quite similar to the modern idea of the so-called alien greys. And then these aliens seemed to go away, and then their place was taken by much more human-like aliens, and he calmed down.
In the case of these human-looking ones, I started to have serious misgivings that this was a rescue, and that's when they put this mask over my face, and I just blacked out real quickly.
Now, the suspicion here was that actually these weren't different aliens. These were the same aliens, but they were capable of shape-shifting into something else, specifically to calm him down.
Crews searched everywhere for the missing forest worker, but it wasn't until 5 days later that Walton reappeared outside of a nearby town.
When I woke up, I was lying face down, outside in the dark, in the cold. I was on a highway in the middle of the woods. I looked around, I recognized the lights of the town down below, and I ran down into the town and found a telephone and called my family for help.
While some dismiss his account as a hallucination, Travis has no doubt that he experienced a genuine extraterrestrial encounter.
What no one asked was, what about the rest of the crew? How do 7 people have an identical hallucination? And besides that, they were given lie detector tests by state police, which they passed. There's real-life things that occur out there that need to be understood. So take a look at the facts and then judge. I don't know the purpose that they had. All I know is what happened to me. This was unmistakable.
Number 1, the abduction of Whitley Steber.
Ulster County, New York. December 26, 1985. best-selling author Whitley Steber is celebrating Christmas with his wife and young son at their cabin. In the middle of the night, he is awoken by a disturbing feeling.
I felt that there was something around me. In other words, there was movement that shouldn't have been there. And I opened my eyes, and I saw these big black eyes staring at me. And I had no idea where I was. It was a little round room, and I began to scream. This automatic voice turned on saying, "What can we do to help you stop screaming?" There were these other figures, dark blue little figures darting around. When they assaulted me, basically, it was not easy. It was a very terrifying experience. I'm on my side, on my right side, and there's a hand pressing down on my left temple, pressing it into the pillow in like waves, like this. And I can't struggle, I can't move a muscle, I can't see anything. I am completely immobilized. After a few seconds, that ends. And I think, was it a dream? Then, the next day or the day after, my ear started hurting. I reach up and I feel this bump here on my ear. And I thought, oh my God, it's an implant.
Oh, that little white thing.
There was an attempt to remove it.
And now it's, I don't see it. Yeah.
It failed because the implant went from here right down into here on its own.
That's it. I'm not gonna do anymore.
And the doctor pulled out. 2 days later, it went from my earlobe back up to where it is to this day.
Could extraterrestrials really have implanted some kind of device inside Whitley Steber's ear? And if so, why? According to Whitley, whatever the implant is, it has had a profound effect on him.
In 2015, I noticed a slit opened up in my right eye, and you could see words racing through it. They were like someone was typing very quickly and racing. And it had something to do with my writing, because at the same time, my ability to do research changed dramatically and weirdly. I found that if I just thought about something I needed, no matter how obscure, one way or another, it would have come to me.
Since receiving the alleged implant, Steber claims to have had regular interaction with otherworldly beings.
The visitors are a part of my life now, very much so. I don't think I would be comfortable working without knowing that there was, using the implant, that there was a connection. Now, what do they want from us? That is a very big unanswered question.